So how this works is that you get a sample of urine. I really wanted to do this live, hoping that it works. So I was going to come and show us how it is. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy's World again. To my returning subscribers, thank you for always. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. I'm happy to see you. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, drop me a comment down below. I would love to meet you personally. Okay guys, I told us I was going to share with us my story about trying for baby number two, how to actually track ovulation, especially if you are wanting to do sex selection. So just listening carefully, I will explain to the best of my knowledge, especially if you're interested in ovulation tracking and sex selection. So prior to before I had carriage, that was my first baby. I never knew a time was going to come that I was going to crave babies. To be honest, after we got wedded, I asked my husband, or before we got wedded, that I would want us to start making babies for at least the first year after we got married. You know that the whole idea of babies scared me, and I just needed to get acclimatized to married life before we start talking about babies and all of that. And he agreed. But how the pregnancy happened was a miracle. Like none of us knew how it happened, but then we found out I was pregnant. So I have videos sharing stories of how the pregnancy happened. So if you just scroll down to my channel or see the link up there, you see the gist about how the pregnancy happened. Yeah. Okay. So pregnancy, baby number one happened, and guys, there was a switch. Like from for someone, for me, who felt like the whole idea of babies scared me, or I didn't want babies are troublesome. Like, as soon as I beheld my child, oh my God, there was this craving for babies, for child, that I started feeling. Like, my baby was 2 months old, and I began telling my husband that, man, I can't wait to have another child. Oh. I wasn't even thinking about the stress. I wasn't thinking about the sleepless night. The whole idea of being a mother was just fascinating me. Like, I so loved it. And my husband was like, you better wait, let your tear heal first before we start talking about another baby. So he also loved, the idea of we being parents and all of that, but it was really stressful. And imagine him, who is a man, who was not even waking up to do the breastfeedings and all of that. He was feeling, so stress and all of that. And me, I was like, it's me who is going to feel it more. So please, oh, I want another baby as soon as possible. So my husband was actually skeptical about the whole another baby thing. But then our family and friends, like people who were very close to us, who we listened to, we also like, it's always good to just give birth to all your kids at once and be done with childbearing, blah blah blah. So they convinced my husband, and then we're now on the same page about having another baby. So one of the reasons why we started trying for another baby very early was because I was craving babies as soon as I had my baby. And then the second reason was because, I'm actually career minded. I love being a mom, I love being a wife, but then the whole idea of, stay at home mom, which is a whole lot of work on its own, is not just my thing. I want to work, I want to do business. So I felt, okay, let's just get done with this childbearing thing as soon as possible so I can start life and start business. So we started trying. We now decided we're going to start trying for baby number two as soon as Carrie's clocked 6 months, and she was to clock 6 months in October 2nd. So guys, I filmed this video on October 12th. Went out, got some ovulation kits, pregnancy kits, like we were ready to begin the journey. And that was when I filmed this video and said I was going to carry you guys along and show you guys the whole process, because I really thought the whole pregnancy was going to happen like that. Um, Looking at the fact that we didn't even plan that of carries and it just happened. I just felt like it was that easy. So we actually, baby number two was actually very intentional. So Carries was around 6 months old. She closed 6 months on 2nd October 2021. 2022, sorry, which was when she was born. She was born in April, 2nd April 2022. She clocked 6 months, 2nd October 2022. We got the ovulation test kit around October 11th, 12th, and which was when I filmed this video. So this was just me going through the instructions on how it's being used and all of that. So if you buy all of these kits, ovulation test kits, they do come with manuals and instructions on how to use them. But I know for many people, following instructions might not be, people don't really understand it or get it. Like for me, I didn't really get it the first time I read this. I practically like wasted almost all of this trip, to be honest, when I started. So that's why I said to explain for people who might be looking for how to use this. And I know for many persons, the idea of an ovulation kit is sounding, very new. Like even me, I never got to know there were things like ovulation test kits until a couple of years back. We all knew about pregnancy test kits and all of that, but I know for so many persons, especially if you've not had course to try for pregnancies before, you might not know ovulation kits exist. So how this works, the ovulation test kit, is that it tracks your ovulation when you are about ovulating. It tracks your most fertile period. Ovulation, fertile periods have a range, like just before the egg comes out, when the egg is coming out, and about 2 days after the eggs come out. So for some persons, like they don't have signs, they don't know when they are ovulating. And for some persons, they want to do gender selection. I'm going to explain how gender selection works with trying to use the ovulation kit. So we wanted gender selection, we wanted a baby boy, because we had a girl first, and wanted a baby boy because we really just wanted to make do with two kids for now, and wanted to experience what having both sexes of children would feel like. So we had this family friend, Auntie Chisom. If you're an OG on this channel, I always mention her. She has four girls and a boy. The boy was the last. So she told us, about the whole gender selection thing, how she tried it for her last baby and it actually worked and came out a boy. And every other person she advised or taught how to do it, they also had baby boys. So she was the one who told me about the whole ovulation test kit thing, and then I got them. So how this works is that it helps determine your most fertile time. So it detects the luteinizing hormone surge, which is a hormone that is being produced prior to when you'll be fertile, like 24 to 36 hours before your tubes releases eggs. Yeah. So when you get the kits, to work this out, you actually need to know your length of period cycle days. So you need to understand how many days is your period cycle. The whole lecture on period calendar days is not going to come on this one. Maybe you might want to read that separately. But how it works is, okay, I saw my period maybe on the 1st of January, and I saw the next period on maybe the 2nd of February. So my cycle days, total of it, is from that 1st of January that I saw my period to the 1st of February, just before I saw my February period. So in this case, we could say I have 32 days cycle, because January 1st to 31st is 31 days already, and then February 1st is 32 days. So that is how you also count your cycle period. So this was me trying to um test. So how this works is that you get a sample of urine. I really wanted to do this live, hoping that it works. So I was going to come and show us how it is. I had my timer, I had the cup. It's best to get a cup when you want to test for this. So, and then I urinated inside the cup, and then I put in the strip inside the urine, cover it, place on a flat surface, and leave it for 3 minutes. So this particular one I bought, how it shows if you are positive is that you will see two pink lines, two very obvious pink lines. It's very similar to how pregnancy test works, but this is for this particular type of ovulation test kit I got. There are different types of ovulation test kits, and they are going to include instructions on how to use them, how to know if it's positive. There's one clear blue one that has a smiley face. If it's positive, it shows you the smiley face. If it's not positive, it goes blank. But for this one, it is supposed to be two pink lines. So I was talking about period cycle, how to know the length of your period cycle, and that would help you know when you should start testing for ovulation. So assuming, let's say you have a 29 days period cycle, it is advised you start testing for this LH surge, that's luteinizing hormone surge, from around the 12th day of your cycle. And then you keep testing for it till you see a positive result. And there's a technicality to testing for this thing. In fact, when I started, I didn't understand most of these things. Yeah. When you want to test, it is advisable you shouldn't have urinated in the last 4 hours before you test for this. Okay. So me, I would advise people to always test for this like first morning urine. So you would have slept like all through the night, over 5-6 hours, and your very first urine, which is very strong and conk, would give a better result. And make sure you test around the same time every day. Make sure you test around the same time every day. So if you say you tested by 6 a.m. this morning, the following day should be 6 a.m. The next morning should be 6 a.m., till you see a positive result. That is how it works. So this was me. I just tested. I just dipped it. I covered it. You have to keep it on a flat surface, and then you have to time it for the next 3 minutes and to see results. So if it doesn't work the first time, you keep trying it till you see the results. Yeah. Other ways you can actually know if you're ovulating is, there is this muco like secretion you have down your vagina. It will be clear and like egg white. So when you have that kind of muco, it's also a sign that you're ovulating. Another sign is that you discover that your urge for sex, like you really want to get intimate, your whole body will be sweating you, that kind of thing. So those are signs to also use to know when you're ovulating. So how does the idea of gender selection come in? So scientifically, how it is explained is that the very the very first sperms that shoot out when intercourse happens, when they meet the egg that is also just being released, like at that moment the egg is being released, there's high tendency that it's going to be a baby boy. So if you test for your ovulation and this tells you, so when you're using this kit and you get a positive result, make sure you have intercourse within the next 24 to 36 hours. That is when your chances of getting pregnant are high and are also likely to be a boy, because sperm cells are very weak. Egg cells can last for about 2 to 3 days, but sperm cells at most 48 hours. After 24 hours, they are dead. So those first sperm cells that shoot out and meet with the egg, if possible, on the very day the egg is being released or just before the egg is being released, so that when the egg is being released, they meet. The chances that it is going to be a boy are very high. But then if you have sex, say like 2-3 days after you must have ovulated, the chances of you having a girl are going to be high, because at that point it is believed that the strong sperm cells have died, and what you have are like the weak sperm cells, which now fertilizes to form a girl. I'm just trying to explain in a layman's language as much as possible. So this was it. Like, after my whole experience of all of this, I understand it better now. That's why I'm explaining it better. So we did so did this work for me? It didn't work for me. Not because I wasn't getting positive results, not because I wasn't ovulating, just like I would tell anybody who is expecting, childbirth is a miracle. How my second baby's conception happened was a miracle. Like, I had a miscarriage the previous month. We just had to take our minds off everything. And the next month, I just found out I was pregnant. We didn't now even do the selection again. We didn't track ovulation again. We didn't do anything. And by the time we went for the 20 weeks anomaly scan, we found out it was a boy. So if you are trying to conceive, if you are TTC and you are watching this video, I just want to encourage you. Yes, you keep doing your best as the woman that you are. You keep tracking ovulation, you keep doing all of this, but believe me, trust me, childbirth is a miracle. How it happens, no one knows, okay? When it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, you would not know. It is God who does it, and it is a miracle. So we did all of this testing for ovulation, blah blah blah, for about 3 months, because we started trying in December, which October. We tried in October, November, December, and I didn't get pregnant all this while. We needed to stop because in the UK you plan childbirth. You like, because of school, you consider school, so you need to plan your childbirth. So you give birth to your child anywhere between January to before the 1st of September, so they'll be able to start school with their mates. Anything outside of that, they'll not be able to start school that September year. Their mates will be starting school. It will have to be the next year. So that was why we stopped trying in December. We said we are going to resume trying again in May. And then somehow I got pregnant in April, unplanned. It was miscarried. And then we said to rest and let my body heal and all of that. Just to find out again that in May I was pregnant. So this was my result then. It was negative. If it was positive, these pink lines should be 2. So you actually keep testing for the next 6-7 days until you get a positive result. So guys, I hope I did well with this video. Drop me your thoughts. Have you tried ovulation testing before? Have you tried gender selection? Did it work for you? What worked for you? Share your experience with us. Somebody could be in the comment section who will draw strength and inspiration from it. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for engaging. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, drop your comments down below, and subscribe if you are yet to do so. See you in next